A while back I saw Koi Kitsune's review of this game and I enjoyed it a great deal. But like many of you out there, I often wonder, is the game really as bad as the reviewer says it is? So I decided to go out and play Cliffhanger for myself. And at first I thought that Koi Kitsune was absolutely right. The game was horrible. Now normally if I play a level or two of a game and I don't like it, I quit right there. But for some reason I decided maybe I should play a little bit more. Maybe it's not that bad. So I played another level, and another, and before I knew it, the game was actually starting to grow on me. Don't get me wrong though, I don't think this game is some kind of hidden masterpiece that you should seek out right away. But I do think it's a little better than Koi Kitsune and other reviewers on YouTube have given it credit for. Or maybe I've just lost my fucking mind because of all the shitty ocean games I've played. In any case, let's get into it. In Defense of Cliffhanger for the NES. First off, let's look at the graphics. They're fucking horrible. In fact, these are some of the worst fucking graphics I've ever seen in a video game. Did Sony ImageSoft really think that they could release a game with graphics this shitty? I genuinely hope that Sony ImageSoft rushed this game into production and the game designers didn't have time to make the graphics look a hell of a lot better. Because if this was the best they could do and they had a lot of time to make this game, then that's just pathetic. Now you might reasonably ask, how can I defend a game if I start out by attacking its graphics? Well, look at the fucking graphics. They're horrible. How the fuck could I possibly defend this shit? But on the other hand, graphics alone don't make or break a game. If that were the case, then a piece of shit like Deadly Towers would be considered a classic, while a classic like Tetris would be considered a piece of shit. So if you can ignore the shitty graphics and just focus on the gameplay itself, then you'll find something that isn't that great, but is actually fairly playable once you get into it. Now I'm not going to lie to you, this game is not great. It's not even very good, but what it is decent. The game is your basic side-scroller. You go through each level performing death-defying jumps and beating up a variety of enemies, starting out with animals, but then working your way up to terrorists as you go along. One thing I like about this game is that though the jumps are difficult at first, once you figure out the controls, they're really not that bad. Despite what Koi Kitsune said, I really don't think the jumping in this game is that horrible, especially when you compare it to games like Darkman, The Terminator, and Predator. The running jumps can be awkward because first you have to collect the boots to be able to run at all. Also, to make your character run, you can't just push right or left. Instead, you have to push up and left or up and right until he gains enough momentum to do it. At first, you might have some trouble with the controls because it does take a little while to get used to them and you will probably fuck up the jump a couple times, but stick with it because it's really not that hard and once you get used to it, you'll be doing it like a pro. Also, this rope climbing part is really weird. To get onto the rope, you don't just jump up and grab it. Instead, you have to jump and press up at the same time, and if you don't do it just right, you'll miss. Who knows what the logic behind this part was, or maybe there was none at all. In any case, you only have to do this about 2 or 3 times in the game, so it's really not that big of a deal. One other odd part is that to select weapons, you have to press down and A. Only A is the jump button, so it really doesn't make any sense. Why not use the select button? It doesn't even do anything in the game. Were the programmers smoking crack when they coded this damn thing? Despite my complaints, there are some parts of this game that I really like. For example, this climbing stage. Now I know that Koi Kitsune said that the rocks in this stage are very annoying, and at first they are because they fall in random patterns that you can't predict. But honestly, this stage is not that difficult. Even if you get hit with a rock a couple of times, you won't die so long as you don't fall too far. At least the game has the common decency to give you a life bar. Plus I think the randomness of the rocks actually makes the level more exciting. So long as you just keep on moving, you should be okay. The same deal applies to the other climbing level. Just keep moving as fast as you can and you shouldn't have too many problems with it. If you beat these 2 levels and you still think they're terrible, I invite you to go back and play the Zool Stairs sequence for Ghostbusters on the NES. Or maybe you can go play the Lou's Cafe sequence in the Back to the Future game for the NES. Or hell, maybe you can play the last level of Ghosts and Goblins for the NES. Then you'll really know what a horrible level is. The game also has some nice touches. For example, to regain your health, you don't collect hearts. Instead, you grab money bags and burn them. And if you'll recall, it's very close to the film because Sylvester Stallone's character burned money to stay warm. Also, if you stand in one spot for too long, Sylvester Stallone's character will start freezing to death and you'll lose life. Again, it's very close to the movie. One point about the game's AI. Obviously, it's not too bright, and apparently they haven't mastered the ability to jump down and fight you yet. However, at least they're smart enough to chase after you if you jump over them or go around them. As you've already seen, the fighting in this game is extremely simple. You punch, you kick, you can jump kick, although that's practically worthless, and that's pretty much it except for the weapons. By the way, if you manage to hold on to your weapons in this game, it's a hell of a lot easier. In fact, I dare say that's too easy because all you have to do to beat the game is either jump over enemies or shoot them from a distance. But at least unlike fucking Hunt for Red October, the bullets will go across the screen instead of just stopping halfway. Another thing I really like about this game is that it stays very true to the movie it's based on. Although you could legitimately argue that most movie-based games do stay relatively true to their source material, this game takes it one step further and literally has scenes directly from the movie. This includes the fight with the guy in the slope, and Gabe even rides him down to the bottom and gets off at the last second, just like the movie. Not to mention the battle with the guy in the cave. Okay, he's white, not black like in the movie, but so fucking what, it's still pretty good for 8-bit NES. Also, the final battle between Eric Quaylen and Gabe is very well rendered. At least in this game, you're not fucking running around throwing bowling balls at guys holding glass panes. Or worse, running around in a fucking gay-ass pink suit trying to butt-fuck the Predator to death. What else do I like about this game? It's easy. In fact, it's so fucking easy that unless you're completely fucking retarded, there's no way you can't beat it within a weekend. Hell, if you're really good, you could probably beat it in a day. I don't know about you guys, but I don't always want to play a game that's so fucking hard that it makes me shit blood. And I think that this game has just the right amount of difficulty. It's tough, but it's not so fucking hard that you'd rather go bang an igloo and then pretend it's Rosie O'Donnell's cunt. If you're a hardcore gamer who only wants games that'll beat the living shit out of you, then steer clear of Cliffhanger. But if you're looking for a nice easy game that you can beat really fast, then you could do a hell of a lot worse. So in conclusion, I noticed that pretty much every review of this game on YouTube has been negative. And I could have gone along with the pack and said, yes, I hate this game, it's a piece of shit, I don't like it. But you know what? That's not the truth. I gotta be honest with you guys, because if I'm not honest, I may as well just give up right now. I like Cliffhanger, and I don't give a shit if every fucking person on this planet hates this game. I stand by what I said, and I honestly think you should give this game a second look, despite what all the other reviewers have said. Whatever flaws the NES version of Cliffhanger has, it sure beats the hell out of the Super Nintendo version. True, the graphics may be superior in the Super Nintendo version, but it's still a lame-ass, glitchy Final Fight wannabe. But that's another review for another day. This is Film and Stuff signing off. Thanks for watching. At least in this game, you're not fucking running around throwing bowling balls at guys holding glass panes. Or worse, running around in a fucking gay-ass pink suit trying to butt-fuck the Predator to death.